Hi everyone, it's Christina TnT, and today I'm here bringing you another amazing interview with a close friend of mine, Val Nichols, and we're just really excited to be putting out all of this information and sharing each other on the World Wide Web, since that's pretty much the only way we can see each other right now. So welcome, Val, and and tell us about you and what you've got going on.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. And thanks for putting this on, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing time in this new virtual world that we have going on. So I'm Val Nichols of Val Nichols Coaching. It might be backwards for you guys, but yes, I am a business coach for women who want to not just create, make money and do things in the world. They really want to create a huge impact, and they want to make a difference in other people's lives. I also have the Wild Tribe, which is women influencers, leaders, and dreamers. Whoop, whoop. We are out there and we're in force. I love it. So yeah, I created the Wild Tribe to really just create connection and community, because the secret that people don't tell about entrepreneurship a lot of times, especially as women, I'll speak to the women here, we need to be in connection, and we really are, it's interesting because in my business alone, like I just hired another assistant yesterday, and this is something kind of new for me because I was a lone wolf for so long, and really we are creating community and connection like never before, and we're really seeing that during this time especially. So that's why I love being a part of things like this.
Yeah, and I know that you produce an interview series as well right now, Thrive, and I've loved following your content and your video productions and things like that over the last few years, and just watching you blossom in that area. So it's been a huge inspiration for me and encouraged me to get a little uncomfortable in this and just jump on and give it a try. So I appreciate you and everything that you've put out into the world, and then encouraging me to challenge myself also.
Oh, thank you. I love that. That's so amazing. And it is, it is kind of when all this started happening, because as we're filming, the COVID-19 crisis is going on across the globe. I know some places are. I was just speaking to someone in Denmark, and she's like, oh, kids are back in school. Things are back to normal. I'm like, wow, crazy. We are definitely not there yet here in the US. But, it's in these times that as leaders, as women, that we are nurturing, and we want to show up, and we want to serve, and we just want to make a difference. And, I know for me, like the way I lead in my business and my life is just through like incredible generosity. So I love to serve, and seeing this shift, seeing the impact of what people are doing in the world, like, being inspired to serve, and then now you're serving in a huge way, and then someone's going to see it and they're going to be inspired to serve in a huge way. Like that's what this is all about. So I am more than happy to be a part of this.
Awesome. Yes, yes. We're going to take the world on.
It's true.
So you mentioned that, yeah, we're right in the middle of this COVID-19 crisis. And what have you seen in the community or your business? And because you serve in other ways too throughout our community at the church and things like that. So what have you seen, and what impact are you facing?
Gosh, I've seen all kinds. I work with people from all over the world. So I'm hearing about different economic impacts in Australia and Denmark and the UK and here, and, even in Florida, like, as close as just the other side of the US, hearing all the different impacts that is going on here. And, it's interesting because what I'm seeing happen, and this is across the board, and I'm not making anyone wrong in this, but what I'm seeing a lot is that, just like we saw in 2008, I had a marketing agency in 2008, and I saw the same thing happen. People are in this thought process that this, oh my gosh, this is the first time it's ever happened. All these things, like, yes, this is the first time we faced this global crisis in our generation, in our lifetime, but there is a cycle. We had 2001, where as a nation we went through this. 2008 we went through this, and then all of this was leading up. I think what happened is this just put the extra pressure of, like, retail sector was already going this route. I also am in ministry, and, you know, a lot of churches were already seeing a decline and things were happening, you know, I don't know if there's going to be like a bubble in real estate. Let's hope not. But, you know, we were seeing a lot of impact that was going to happen. And this is just a cycle that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm noticing is that a lot of the, you know, entrepreneurship as a whole is a very like glamorous, like kind of trendy thing that's going on right now. You know, this is just the thing. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs because it offers a lot of freedom. It offers, you know, some uncapped income if you do it the right way. However, what I'm seeing right now is a lot of people who are, you know, kind of hobby entrepreneurs, I'll say, because if you're not making a certain amount of money, like it's a hobby, it's not a real business. You know, this is just something I talk about. And I'm seeing a lot of people pull back. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of people like creating a story or getting very emotional or creating a meaning behind this, and they're pulling back. But then on the other side, I'm seeing, with myself included, my clients, we're pivoting into the online space. We're pivoting. And if there's people like me, like a lot of my income for the past year has been traveling and speaking. And, you know, now I'm not having to leave my home. I don't have to jump on a plane and be away from my husband for a week. I don't have to like spend money on hotels and flights and all these things, and business is still thriving. So what I'm seeing is a lot of people pivoting to this online space, whether if it's entrepreneur or a mom who's now having to, you know, homeschool her kids from online space, like whatever that is for you. Everyone has their own thing, but I'm seeing a lot of people just like pivoting. And, you know, me personally in business has been booming. You know, in this time when a lot of people are having layoffs, like I'm amping up my staff. Like I've hired 2 people since this crisis has happened. And, you know, now we're looking at, I'm hiring out like a sales manager, which is just so crazy to me because I love sales. That's my thing. But like, you know, like things can build and things can really happen. Right now we have this amazing window of opportunity where if you do it the right way, you can now create and carve yourself out as whatever niche you want to be in, because these are the times that it's kind of like when you make tea, the water has to boil for the tea to be made. Mm-hmm. Right? And so that's what we're seeing right now. And in this water boiling, yeah, the way we show up as business leaders, the way we show up as leaders, as whatever in the world, like it's different. But just like in 2008, the ones who do it the right way, the ones that pivot and serve, are the ones that are going to thrive.
You use a really good, like a keyword that I've been honing in on over the last 5 weeks, and it's opportunity. You know, we can go either way, and especially in the real estate industry, like you mentioned, you know, there's a lot of hobbyists, and this is going to be the make or break where those people are just going to decide to use it as an excuse instead of an opportunity. And I know that's one of the reasons I'm here, filling my time with these other opportunities to learn and grow and pivot, which is another keyword because one of the coaching programs I'm in is called Pivot during this time. And so tell me about some of the changes you've made for your business. I mean, a lot, you're already been online, but now you're not traveling as much. You had so many amazing trips planned, and we're just going to say they're postponed right now. And so what changes have you implemented that have kept you going?
Oh my gosh. So I've always had, for me, like first and foremost is my morning routine. As like simple as that sounds, honestly, like
it is undervalued.
Right. I was just re-listening to the guy, Hal, I just forgot his name.
Hal.
Yes.
Miracle
Morning. Like I was just listening to his stuff going, yep. So yeah, like my morning routine has been so important because I've worked from home now for, almost 2 years. And it's like, that's always been an important foundation for me. But I think like pressing into the basics is what it's been all about for me during this time of making sure I'm in the right mindset, making sure that my morning is set so that if I'm in the right state, in the right mindset, then I then get to show up and serve the people I serve in that huge way. They get all of me. Whereas it can be so easy if you don't manage your mind to get caught up in, I mean, all you have to do is turn on the news. And if you're not afraid, you're going to be in fear after you watch the news for about 5 minutes, right? So I'm not saying like be ignorant, like know what's going on, stay current, but honestly, like just keeping, I think what it boils down for me is like keeping a sense of normalcy, even though nothing is, because we all want certainty and we want uncertainty. You know, our play side is this uncertainty, but we need like a level of certainty in our lives. And so creating that structure of, you know, staying in my morning routine, making sure that, you know, like I know my work cycle well. I know I do great in the mornings. So, you know, scheduling stuff in the mornings with my clients and making sure that like ultimately I'm keeping my health right and eating, like remembering to eat throughout the day when I'm home. You know, really just, and it's been incredible. Just, but like the morning routine is the most important piece for me. And staying connected to my team, you know, whether if that's my, you know, my team, like virtually, like creating the sense of community and creating the sense of team in the virtual world. Right. And it's just been, I mean, it's been, you just pivot, right? You pivot.
Yeah, I hope you're all listening very closely about the morning routine. Any of you who have followed me for a long period of time, Hal Elrod is my go-to guy. I've been following him for years. I saw him speak publicly, and I do my miracle morning. And every successful high producer that I know has a routine, a morning routine. So make note of that. All right. So Val, what, other than a morning routine, what is another recommendation that you have for our audience on how to get through this time? And what are a few takeaways that you can give them?
Oh my goodness, this is so good. And, you know, I would say the biggest takeaway, and I hope that if this sounds unsensitive, you guys will find my information and follow me and find out that that's not my heart.
Not
but
at all.
Honestly, like the biggest piece of advice I can say is like, this is not about you, right? Like this is not happening to you. The mindset shift is that, you know what, maybe I was just saying this earlier to a client, maybe this is happening for you. Because what I believe, and I'm going to take a firm stand for this, for myself, for you, for the audience right now, a firm stance. So hear me, is that this is shining a light on the things that weren't working anyway. That it's easy for us to get into a routine of what is working, even if it's not really working, right? Like maybe it's just getting us by. Maybe we're just, and I've been guilty of this. Maybe we're just checking a box. Maybe we're just getting something done to get it done and checking that box and being like, I did it, it's done. And I believe what's happening right now is that this is shining a light for us to see where our priorities off. Where are we not maintaining connections? Because believe me, that's one of my things. I'm very outgoing and I love people. So this has reminded me that like, oh yeah, those people that still exist in my life, like family, the people that like I haven't talked to lately, like I get to remain in intentional relationship with them, right? Because it's easy for me to be like, oh, I'm building my business and I'm here and I've been traveling for like 9 months. But like right now I get to like shine the light on that and realize what are my priorities, right? And the same goes in my business. The exact same is in my business. This is an opportunity where I get to realize and shine the light on the fact that I didn't start this business for me. You know, the money, the travel, the things like this, it's fun perks, right? But when I get down to the nitty gritty of why did I start my business in the first place? It goes back to me being in, okay, I'm gonna get a little bit like transparent with you guys. So morning, it goes back to me being in a room with my mom for 6 hours in a little room with white walls, waiting for a doctor to come in because what she was suffering from was not evident on the outside. I was in this room as a 29-year-old daughter in total role reversal, wondering, how do I help this woman? I looked out and I looked for resources. I looked for books. I looked for someone. I was like, if someone could just tell me how to navigate this time right now that is so confusing and I feel responsible, I'm needing to like make these decisions. Like I'm literally in this room waiting for a doctor because she wasn't priority, right? Like a lot of people watching this might feel this way during this time. It's hard to get into doctors. It's hard to get medical care if you're not like facing, needing a ventilator. But like, I remember just wondering, like, if someone could just tell me how to navigate this situation and how to like help this woman, this beautiful miracle of a woman who's like 60 years old, who'd never in her chance, like never been told in her life that she had her own life and she could make her own choices and that she was actually worth something, like that nobody in her life had given a damn about her. Sitting here as a 28-year-old woman, not finding any resources, not knowing how to do this. Like, and myself, because like, there's all these things going on, a lot of confusing stuff growing up. Like no one gave me a manual on how to operate in life. Right. And I remember even being in like my 20s and thinking that like everyone else knew how to do life and I didn't. I remember feeling like the day they were passing out the manuals for life, like I must have like skipped school or something because I didn't get one. And, I had a lot of pain, like a lot of things growing up that I didn't know, like I knew were happening, but I was told they didn't. Right. And so I didn't trust myself. And so here I am at 28 years old, wondering like, what would have happened if someone would have told my own mom at my age that she could build a life, that she could build a future, that she could do something with her life besides having a mental illness and then having a breakdown at 60 years old. And I was like, why can't I be that person? What if I was that person that told a woman that she could do whatever she wanted? And I was like, from that moment forward, I was like, that's me. I am going to be that for someone. And that's why I started my business.
I love it.
Right?
That's so inspirational.
Thank you. It's my truth. It's my truth. And it's easy to get caught up in like the mechanics of business and this and that and glamour metrics and Facebook and Instagram. And should I be on TikTok? Like, you know what? At the end of the day, I know that story. And I know that there's been a ripple effect in the life of so many people because of that pain. It's like taking your mess and creating a message. And I believe, right? And I believe that every single woman and every human out there, whether they're a real estate agent, if they're a child care provider, if they're a business owner, whatever they are, they can do that. And if I'm living proof. I'm living proof of that.
I hope everybody watching and listening to this will go follow you and see all of the amazing stuff that you put out there, because definitely not insensitive at all. and all of the amazing things. And I'm so blessed to be able to spend time with you weekly. So how can other people find you and follow you and get all of the amazing stuff that you put out?
Yeah, so I have a strong presence on Facebook. You can find me at It's Val Nichols. So ITSVALNICHOLS. I also have my website, valnichols.com. I have a lot of content on there as well. I do courses. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok at the same. It's Val Nichols. You can find me on any platform. And then I also have a YouTube channel as well that we're currently building out because I do a lot of online interviews with amazing experts and just so much great content that I'm like, people need to hear these stories because I believe that's how we connect. And right now, like, we all crave stories. We want to heal. We were just talking before we pressed record. Christina and I were like, it's so amazing in this space to see people in their real environment.
Yes.
And like, I think that's what connects. Like, I also preach. I'm not a pastor, but I'm a preacher. And like, I've always been so real about my stories. Like, I struggled with drugs. I struggled with alcohol. And look what God did, right? Like I'm on stages now, like sharing amazing things with people and like stories. That's how we connect. So I love like videos and YouTube and all these ways that we can just really like just share our humanness together.
Yes, it's important. We all have, my last video, my son came tromping through and my dog's barking out in the yard and oh, it's only a matter of time before, did you say your sign fell in one of
Yeah.
yours?
I'm redoing my wall back here, and I was doing an interview earlier with a woman, and my sign just fell over. I'm like, okay, the
Yeah.
show goes on. Whatever, we pivot, we do whatever. Oh yeah, I've had all of it. Like the UPS guy showing up at my house, and my dog's like freaking out in the background. I'm like, it's my dog's my son. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely. You also wanted me to bring up the fact that you have something to provide for those watching, and today is April 21st, 2020, and we'll probably have this launched by Monday. So what did you want to share?
Yeah, so I have a little mini course. So it's called the Wannabe Entrepreneur, and it's a really fun little program I put on every once in a while. And it's for those of you who are either, aspiring entrepreneurs, or if you are at a place where maybe you're building your business and you're looking to kind of pivot or shift online. This is a great way to just get in there, get some practical tips that you can use right away. And you just go through this program. It's really easy. I'll give you the link, and then you just pretty much sign up with your name, your email, and then you're in. So it'll be awesome. If you need any support throughout that, I'm here. One of my assistants can get a hold of you as well if you guys need any support. So I'd love to offer that to your viewers today. It's a little free course called the Wannabe Entrepreneur.
I love it. And I just love hearing you say your assistants, because I remember how difficult it was for you to just hire that first one and get it going.
Oh my gosh, control issues much. Yes.
Well, look how much you're thriving even more, and you're able to carry that through and provide someone employment through this.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that just it honestly like makes my heart melt to know, because it's interesting that the people that work for me are people who are just kind of, like one of the women went through my programs and realized that she wasn't really an entrepreneur. And she's discovered that she's like, I really thrive on a team. And she's like, I wish that she's describing to me what kind of team she wants to work for. And I'm thinking like, that's me, that's my style. And I remember like throwing it out to her, and she was like, oh my gosh, I thought you would never ask me. I kept hinting about it. And I thought you'd never ask me. And she's like one of my best, she's my best employee. And no, not like that. I don't, yeah. She's my biggest employee. She works for me the most. And then my other one was just kind of a woman who she's like, I love your energy. I love your space. And I would love to work for you. Like, how do we make this happen? And, knew I was looking for some help, and she reached out to me, and it's been amazing. That I have a couple like virtual assistants that help with, behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, like building out teams is something I love. It's interesting because I've been teaching my employees or my clients how to do that for a long time. And it's newer for me to actually have like full-time employees, not just like virtual assistants, but yeah. I love it.
Wonderful. Well, Val, I want to say thank you again for joining us today on this. I need to come up with a name for this. You'll have to help me. And providing so much value. I'll make sure to put in the links and share those ways to connect with you. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And it's been a pleasure to be on your show and connect with you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the inspiration. And everyone, it's Christina TnT with Val Nichols, and we will send this out soon for everyone to capture. Bye.